$1,000 flights exposed. How one young dreamer turned heartbreak into an amazing journey of hope. Mia had always been a dreamer. The days bled together in the small Midwestern town where she served pancakes and brewed coffee at the local diner. But in her mind, she wasn't just flipping burgers. She was thumbing through the pages of a world atlas. Every Sunday, the regulars' farmers, steelworkers, retirees would share stories while she poured their endless refills. Their tales of sweat, grit, and triumph set her heart racing and ignited wild dreams of far-off places. But the weight of her family's financial struggles kept her feet firmly planted in a world that felt far too small. Every evening, after the diner closed, she'd retreat to her grandfather's worn stories adventures from his days as a soldier. Her heart swelled with hope, imagining the vast landscapes he might have seen. Then came the day when everything flipped. Her younger brother, Tanner, the shining light of their family, had an accident on a school field trip. A simple misstep turned his life upside down, landing him in a hospital bed, tubes snaking from his fragile form. The bills? They piled up higher than the mountains in her grandfather's tales. Mia felt a suffocating guilt. She was supposed to be the pillar for her family, but every ounce of encouragement she found turned to dust as her dreams of escape mocked her from a distant shore. Could she even think of chasing a life beyond burgers while Tanner fought just to walk again? In a moment sprinkled with serendipity, she stumbled across a non-profit. They were offering $1,000 flights to individuals whose stories of perseverance deserved to be shared. Her heart leaped. Could this be her chance? But doubt crept in like a thief in the night. Was her narrative worthy? Who would care about a waitress in a diner when the world was bursting with more incredible stories? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the days morphed into nights, Mia found herself weaving through the tapestry of her community. A retired schoolteacher told her how education could transform a life. A young mechanic shared the beauty in fixing broken things, while a local artist painted struggles, each brushstroke portraying resilience. Each encounter felt like a warm hug in the biting cold of her reality. Yet her burden grew heavier. Uplifting her family meant surrendering her dreams, an impossible trade-off. A pivotal moment arrived during a community potluck, a gathering infused with hope and support. The air was thick with anticipation as she stood before friends and neighbors. Heart-pounding, she shared her family's struggles, baring her soul. She could feel their eyes, some filled with compassion, others with skepticism. Just as she reached the essence of her story, an unexpected interjection cut through the room. The atmosphere thickened with emotion, questions hanging like smoke. Could she still fight for her future? As Mia stepped outside the diner, the night air chilled her skin, but something had shifted inside her. Hope flickered tentatively in her heart. Could her family's love withstand the storm ahead? The answer lingered, tantalizing yet out of reach, leaving her standing at the crossroads of hope and heartache, yearning for a resolution she could barely see. Days passed, and Mia felt the weight of uncertainty settle deeper in her chest. The stories of her neighbors, while uplifting, festered in the back of her mind like echoes. Their words ignited something inside her, a yearning to be part of a larger narrative, to rise above the muck of worry that encased her family. But the reality pulled at her ankles like quicksand. Each morning, she returned to the diner with a smile plastered on her face, pouring coffee and serving plates. But her heart wasn't fully there. There was a gnawing thought, a flicker of courage buried beneath anxiety. The $1,000 flight was a lifeline, and that night outside the diner had awakened something in her, definitely more potent than her routine. Tanner's condition improved, but it wasn't swift enough for Mia. Each glance at his fragile form sent waves of guilt crashing over her. What if she followed her dreams? What if she flew away for an adventure while he lay stuck in a bed? It felt selfish, like abandoning ship when he needed her most. But the deeper she buried the thought, the heavier it grew. One evening, as she tucked Tanner in, she whispered to him about her dreams. His eyes, usually bright and filled with mischief, were weary but unwavering. "You should go, Mia," he murmured, barely above a whisper. "I want to see you happy." His words struck her, wrapping around her heart like a lifeline. Her brother's encouragement clawed at her doubts. It was as if he was making a plea for both of them. But could she leave them behind? What if the flight was a way of saying goodbye? That week, as Mia washed dishes after a long shift, a regular who always sat near the counter, Mrs. Lawson, caught her eye. "You've got that fire in you, girl," she said, wiping her hands on a dish towel. "Don't hide it. The world's got room for your story." A spark lit in Mia's chest. "What if no one wants to hear it?" Mia replied, exasperation creeping into her voice. "They will. They will when you tell it authentically. People love real, and you are real," Mrs. Lawson said, her eyes sparkling with conviction. Those words stuck with Mia, swirling in her mind. What if the story of this town, the heart, the struggles and triumphs, intertwined with her journey, could inspire others? With every shift, every coffee she served, those thoughts bubbled and burbled, growing louder amidst the din of clinking plates and raucous laughter. That Friday night, she found herself back at the potluck, her heart racing with a mix of fear and adrenaline. She wanted to share. She wanted to declare her dream amidst her community. But just as she approached the makeshift stage, ready to pour out her heart, she hesitated. Could she take that jump? Mia felt the eyes of her neighbor, her coworker, even the shy kids who came with their parents, watching her. Courage collided with her self-doubt. The moment was charged with possibilities and pitfalls, hope and fear. Then Tanner's voice rang in her mind, reminding her of that flicker of hope he saw in her. That was enough to push her forward. She inhaled deeply and grabbed the microphone, her heartbeat thrumming in her ears. But just as she began to speak, a loud crash broke the tension, whipping the crowd into chaos. Mia's heart skipped a beat. What had happened? In a moment of hope and fear woven tightly together, she stood at the edge of something transformative. Would she rise above, or would this moment push her back into the shadows? The loud crash echoed like thunder, scattering the crowd into a flurry of voices and movement. Mia's heart raced as she shifted her gaze toward the source of the ruckus. A table had toppled, plates and utensils clattering to the ground in a cacophony that felt overwhelming. For a moment, everything froze. She caught sight of Mrs. Lawson, eyes wide with concern, rushing to assist a child who had stumbled amid the chaos. Other attendees sprang into action, some rushing to help while others stood shocked, unsure of what to do. Mia's breath caught in her throat. This was not how she imagined this night, the moment when she would finally share her voice. She clutched the microphone tightly, waiting for a calm to settle over the din, but her thoughts raced ahead. What if she'd never get the chance? What if nobody wanted to listen now? The flicker of courage she had felt moments ago dimmed in the shadow of uncertainty. But then, from across the room, she saw Tanner. He was sitting up, his warm gaze finding her through the swirling mayhem. He gave her a small nod, a simple gesture that ignited something fierce within her. He trusted her, believed in her. Mia gulped, feeling a mix of urgency and determination. Something needed to shift, and perhaps she could be the one to start that wave. "Let us take a breath, everyone," she called out, her voice cutting through the tumult. "It's okay. We're all here together." Her words hung in the air, catching the attention of a few. Slowly, the crowd began to settle, the chaos transitioning into murmurs of reassurance. "Let us help clean up," someone shouted, rallying the onlookers. The energy shifted, fear morphing into a collective effort. The room began to buzz with a shared sense of purpose. Mia stepped closer to the edge of the stage, the microphone feeling oddly comforting in her hand. "I know it's a scary moment, and we've all got fears and doubts, but we're stronger together," she said, her heart pounding but her voice steady. Tonight, we can celebrate each other. I want to share something." As she spoke, the crowd's focus returned to her, curiosity weaving its way through the remnants of chaos. A spark ignited, fueled by the sense that they were all part of something bigger. A family, a community, all tied together by hope and shared stories. "I have dreams. I want to explore beyond this town, embrace the unknown, and find what makes me truly alive." Something inside her shifted, propelling her forward. "But I can't do it without this community. Your stories inspire me, and maybe I can inspire you too." The energy in the room transformed. Heads nodded in agreement, and she saw smiles breaking across hesitant faces. This moment was no longer just hers. It was theirs, a collective ripple of connection. Mia breathed in deeply. "So tonight, let us each share our stories. Let us break the barriers of fear together, because our dreams are worth sharing, and we aren't alone." As her voice flowed with more confidence, the crowd cheered, clapping their hands, eager to join in. The spirit of community pulsed in the air, electrifying and raw. Just then, the last of the commotion subsided, and she felt a warmth envelop her, like an embrace. But as she soaked in the moment, a realization hit her. What if this applause meant something bigger? What if her journey was just beginning? With a heart racing from excitement and fear, Mia took a deep breath. This was her moment. But what awaited her beyond the stories shared in that room? Then she noticed Tanner's smile, radiant and full of pride. What if he was right? What if it was time for her to truly spread her wings? As the cheering filled her ears, Mia turned her eyes to the door, the path that led to everything she had dreamed of and more, knowing she would have to take that leap soon. What awaited her beyond this moment? Would she find the courage to face the unknown? Mia's heart raced as the applause washed over her, a tidal wave of energy that made her feel alive. She could hardly believe this was happening. The chaos had transformed into something beautiful, something that flickered with endless potential. But she felt butterflies fluttering in her stomach, and the restlessness of change lingered in the air. As she stood at the edge of the stage, basking in the warmth of the moment, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was a pivotal point in her life. People were nodding, engaging. Some had even started to rise, eager to step forward and share their own dreams layered with quiet fears. This vibrant crowd she stood before was beginning to see the light in their own stories. "Who wants to go first?" Mia called out, her eyes scanning the audience. A connection had sparked between them, an unspoken agreement to cheer each other on. A young woman near the back cautiously raised her hand, her expression a mix of apprehension and hope. I'd like to share." Mia smiled broadly and gestured for her to come forward. The crowd parted like the Red Sea, an approving hum encouraging the young woman forward. "I'm Rosie," she began, biting her lip nervously. "I've always wanted to be an artist, but I thought that dream was too big, just a silly fantasy." She hesitated, glancing down at her hands before taking a deep breath and continuing. "I lost my brother a few years ago. He always believed in me. I feel like if I could share my art with the world, it would be like keeping his memory alive." Mia felt a catch in her throat. Rosie's authenticity shone through. The crowd leaned in, captivated by the rawness of her story. The vulnerability sparked something in them all. "I joined, thinking I could learn to paint just as a hobby, but now I see it as a part of me. It's time to stop holding back," Rosie finished, her voice quietly resolute. The audience erupted into cheers, and Mia's heart swelled with pride. It was amazing to watch someone take a step forward, to see their fears melt into elation. "Thank you, Rosie," Mia called, and waves of applause filled the room again. "Who's next?" One by one, people began to rise. Stories poured out, grief, dreams, aspirations, and some heart-wrenching truths. A man with a passion for music shared how he let life's responsibilities silence his guitar. A young mother spoke about her battle for self-identity after having kids, while an elderly gentleman revealed how he had always wanted to travel but set those dreams aside for decades. Each story was a thread, weaving together a vibrant tapestry of human experience. As each person opened up, Mia's heart soared. They were discovering their courage in this safe space. Together they were turning pain into hope and dreams into reality. But amidst all the laughter and tears, Mia felt a pull inside her. She knew that as beautifully transformative as this moment was, the real challenge awaited. She had to confront her own doubts and fears. What exactly did she want beyond those dreams she had shared? What was stopping her from seizing them? Just as she fought to formulate the thoughts swirling in her mind, Tanner approached her, his smile practically radiant. "Mia, you've created something incredible here," he said softly, the pride evident in his voice. "But you know it's okay to take that leap, right?" She looked into his eyes, feeling that familiar connection. "But what if I fall?" she asked, her voice trembling with sincerity. His smile widened, revealing sincerity and encouragement. "Then you fly, Mia. It's part of the journey." As he stepped back to let her take in his words, Mia felt the weight of his approval. But deeper questions lingered. Did she truly have the strength to take that leap? To move beyond the boundaries she had built? The room was alive with passions ignited, but now her heart felt like a twisting knot of excitement and fear. Where would that leap take her? What dreams awaited just beyond the edge of her comfort? The echoes of hope whispered around her, and Mia stood on the precipice of her own truth. What choice would she make? Mia took a deep breath and let the moment wash over her. The crowd was still buzzing, filled with kindred spirits, those hungry for change and searching for connection. She felt like she stood at a crossroads with 1,000 different paths branching out, each one whispering promises of possibility. "Okay, Mia, just breathe," she whispered to herself, the words barely escaping her lips. Her internal dialogue raced as she looked at the spirited faces around her. Each had shared their own story, their own struggles, and now it was her turn. The thought sent shivers down her spine. In a quick burst of courage, she stepped forward, the spotlight finding her like a warm embrace. I want to share too," she managed, her voice shaking but clear. The crowd quieted, eyes wide with curiosity. The moment felt electric, as if her vulnerability was an unspoken invitation for others to connect even deeper. "I've always wanted to be a proper writer," she confessed, recalling her childhood dreams whispered in the softness of night. "But I kept getting distracted by, well, life. It felt safer to write in my journal, locked away from the world." She swallowed hard, the truth stinging like fresh ink on paper. "I lost my father last year," she continued, her voice thickening with emotion. "He always encouraged me to pursue my dreams. He believed that storytelling had the power to change hearts. But in his absence, I lost my voice." Mia could feel the crowd leaning in, absorbing her words as if they were their own. There was something magical about sharing pain, watching it dissolve into collective understanding. But standing here, seeing all of you, hearing your stories, I realize that I've been waiting for permission. From him, from myself. And it's time to stop waiting. The energy shifted. Her heart raced as she spoke. "We each have dreams that deserve to be realized, don't we? We can't let fear hold us back." As she shared her vision of writing a novel that would inspire others, the room came alive with nods and murmurs of agreement. Mia's heart swelled as familiar faces encouraged her. Tanner's smile was a beacon in the crowd, inspiring her to delve deeper into her own truth. Then came the affirmation that she hadn't realized she needed. "Thank you, Mia. You have the passion to write." A voice called from the back. A ripple of agreement echoed through the room. She felt their support wrap around her like a comforting blanket, emboldening her. "Can you believe it?" she thought. "This is truly a community." The insecurity that had once tethered her began to loosen its grip. With each story shared, Mia felt the weight of her own burdens lifting, replaced by a lightness she hadn't known in months. Maybe, just maybe, she could also find a voice in the wider world, a voice that spoke not just for herself, but for everyone who had ever felt lost. But still, the darkness lingered. What if she could never write with the depth she desired? What if she failed to capture even a fragment of the beauty she envisioned? Mia glanced again at Tanner, still watching her, his unwavering support shimmering like a lighthouse in a storm. "Do it for them, Mia," She whispered to herself. You can turn this heartbreak into something amazing. With that thought echoing fiercely in her mind, she stepped back from the stage, her heart racing with possibilities. The warmth from the crowd filled her with hope. It was time to embrace the leap she had long delayed, a leap into the unknown. The real journey lay ahead, and she would face it with courage. But deep down, a new question burned brightly. Could she weave her father's encouragement into the fabric of her story, or would her fears continue to silence her? As she navigated through the sea of supporters, Mia felt both invigorated and terrified, acknowledging the path ahead, while also questioning the choices she would make next. Would her story be one of vibrant triumph, or would it dissolve into another whisper of what could have been? With her heart thumping like a drum, she knew the adventure was only just beginning. Mia stepped down from the makeshift stage, her heart still racing from the rush of adrenaline and shared emotion. The chatter of the crowd buzzed around her like a warm breeze, and she could feel the energy in the air, a palpable sense of connection and purpose. Each smile and nod was a lifeline, each word of encouragement a chorus echoing in her mind. As she made her way through the gathering, Tanner met her gaze, his eyes sparkling with admiration. That was incredible, Mia, he beamed, stepping closer. You really connected with everyone. I felt it. We all did. His enthusiasm was magnetic, pulling at the threads of her resolve. For the first time in a long while, she felt a sense of belonging. Thanks, Tanner. I didn't expect to feel so much from sharing, she admitted, her voice softening. Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right? Sharing is healing, he replied, his sincerity lighting a spark inside her. The conversations around them swirled like colors on a painter's palette. People were animated, recounting their stories, feeding off the energy of Mia's vulnerability. She listened intently, resonating with the experiences shared. A woman beside her spoke of her struggle with depression, while a young man expressed frustration over his career path. Mia found herself interjecting with comments of encouragement, feeling more like a part of the community than an outsider looking in. She began to sense that their stories were all intertwined, each one adding threads to the fabric of humanity, making them stronger together. But there was something deeper that still gnawed at her. In the cracks between her excitement lay a lingering doubt. How did she transform her father's legacy into something tangible? She had channeled courage in that moment on stage, but what about the white pages waiting for her? As the evening progressed, Mia remained caught in her thoughts, standing a little apart from the others. Just as she was about to slip back into her insecurities, Tanner appeared next to her, holding out a small notebook. Hey, I thought you might want to jot down your thoughts. It's a little something for inspiration. Maybe it was just a simple gift, but it felt like a turning point. She took it from him, her fingers brushing against the soft cover. Thank you, Tanner. Really, this means a lot. Anything for my fellow storyteller, he winked. They shared a moment, eyes locked, an understanding that transcended words. In his gaze, she sensed a passion that mirrored her own, and for the first time, Mia felt less alone in her journey. After chatting a bit more, the crowd began to dissipate, leaving just a handful of hopeful dreamers still buzzing with the energy of the evening. The warmth of connection lingered even as the chill of night descended upon the venue. Mia stepped outside, the cool air refreshing against her skin. She gazed up at the stars twinkling above, each one representing a dream, a story waiting to be told. Her heart was alight with possibility. She wanted to capture it all, the depth of her feelings, the weight of her loss, the joy of her father's belief in her. What if this newfound hope could fuel her writing? What if she could create a narrative that embraced both struggle and resilience? She felt a stirring inside her, a sense of urgency to start weaving her tale, but questions still lingered like shadows at the edges of her mind. Would she be able to turn her emotions into something others could connect with? What if her words weren't enough? Just then, she noticed a nearby cafe glowing softly, its inviting warmth a contrast to the night. It seemed to call her, to write, to begin anew. With a determined lift of her chin, Mia headed toward the cafe, the flutter of anticipation intertwining with her lingering fears. Was this the moment she had been waiting for, the chance to transform heartbreak into something beautiful? As she opened the door, the chime of the bell resonated in her heart like a new beginning. Would she finally find her voice in the quiet empowerment of her story? The moment Mia stepped inside the cafe, the rich aroma of coffee enveloped her like a warm blanket. Felt safe, inviting. The soft hum of conversation wrapped around her, offering solace from the uncertainty swirling in her mind. She spotted a cozy corner table, bathed in the amber glow of a small lamp. Settling into the chair, she pulled out the notebook Tanner had gifted her. The blank pages stared back at her, blank slates bursting with potential. Her heart raced, a mix of excitement and fear washed over her. What if she could pour out everything she had, the pain, the loss, the hope? She inhaled deeply, closed her eyes, and let it all wash over her. She thought of her father, his laughter echoing in her memory, the love that had once filled their home. He had always believed in her dream, and although he was no longer there, she felt his presence urging her on. Wasn't this the story she needed to write? A story woven with memories and light? Mia opened her notebook, and with a determined hand, she penned the words. "This is for my dad, for the dreams we shared." The pen danced across the page, an extension of her thoughts, her heart. Sentences flowed, vibrant and raw. She wrote of the darkness she'd endured, the battles she fought in silence, but also about the flickers of hope that had illuminated her path. The cafe bustled around her, yet she was lost in her own world. A barista slipped by with a steaming cup, and for a moment, their eyes met. Mia nodded, a smile stretching across her face. Felt good being here writing. The act itself was a small but significant victory for her. Minutes turned into hours, and she barely noticed the time passing. It wasn't just writing. It was healing. Each word was a catharsis, each sentence a step toward finding herself again. Mia knew that this was more than just a story. It was her lifeline, her truth laid bare on the pages. Then her phone buzzed, pulling her from the cocoon of her thoughts. It was a message from Tanner. "Hey, how is the writing going? Can I join you?" Her heart leaped. She felt a sense of connection with Tanner, a friendship blossoming from shared dreams. She quickly replied, inviting him over. When he arrived, his face lit up at the sight of her writing. "Looks like you've been busy," he said, settling into the chair across from her. Mia couldn't suppress a grin. "Feels good, like I'm finally tapping into something real. I'm trying to write about my dad and everything he meant to me." Tanner leaned in, genuinely interested. "That's beautiful, Mia. Sounds like a story that needs to be told. Do you need any help? I'd love to hear about it." Brainstorm ideas. Her chest warmed. Was this what support felt like? After a moment's hesitation, she nodded. "Yes, I think sharing it might help shape what I want to say." Their conversation flowed easily, and they bounced ideas off each other like kids building a fort from blankets. Mia felt her confidence swell with every exchange. Tanner's presence felt like a solid foundation, a reminder that she wasn't alone in this journey. But just as they began to find a rhythm, a shadow flickered across her mind. "What if people don't like it?" she blurted out, a sudden wave of doubt crashing over her. "What if I fail?" Tanner regarded her thoughtfully. "But what if it helps just one person? Sometimes that's all it takes. Sharing your truth is powerful, Mia." His words struck deep, stirring something inside her, a sense of clarity amidst the chaos. Could it be possible to transform her struggles into something meaningful? The cafe began to close, whispers of conversations fading into a gentle hush, but Mia felt a newfound sense of purpose. As they gathered their things, Tanner said, "I believe in you, and whatever you create will be amazing." Mia smiled, but doubts still lingered. Would this be enough to honor her father's memory? With her heart lifted, she stepped back into the cool evening air. The stars twinkled overhead, twinkling like dreams waiting to be discovered. But as she looked at Tanner beside her, she realized she wasn't stepping into the unknown alone. As they began to walk, a thought emerged. What if her journey was only beginning? The question hung in the air, and with it, A sense of excitement stirred within her. She started to feel the power of hope engraved in her heart, ready to shape the narrative she hadn't dared to imagine. Would she find the courage to keep writing and embrace whatever came next? With every step, a new energy thrummed through Mia. Walking beside Tanner, she felt lighter than she had in months. The stars above seemed to wink conspiratorially, as if they were aware of the journey she was on, and they were rooting for her. So what's the next step? Tanner asked, breaking the comfortable silence between them. What comes after writing? Mia took a moment to consider. I guess finding the courage to share it? To let others read what I've written. Tanner nodded, his brow furrowed slightly. That's a big leap. But it sounds like you've been holding on to this story for a while. It might be time to let it fly. His words ignited a spark of determination within her. It was true. The longer she kept her thoughts locked away, the heavier they felt. You're right. But what if they don't get it? What if it's too raw? But what if it resonates? Tanner countered, his voice steady. What if your words connect with someone who feels just as lost? That's the beauty of sharing your truth. A flicker of warmth spread through her. Mia had never considered her writing as something that could offer comfort to others. She thought about her father, about how he had always encouraged her to use her voice. Wasn't this what he had wanted? The conversation shifted as they ventured deeper into the night, the streetlights flickering above like miniature suns. Mia shared memories with Tanner about her father, the time he taught her to ride a bike, his crazy dance moves at family gatherings, and how he would always read her bedtime stories in exaggerated voices that made her giggle. I miss him so much. Writing feels like a way to keep him alive, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Tanner stopped walking and turned to face her. That's exactly it. You hold his memory in your writing. You can honor him while also healing yourself. That's pretty powerful. The sincerity in his eyes sent a rush of emotion through her. She wasn't alone in this. Mia took a deep breath, letting the weight of his words settle in. Okay, I'll promise to keep going, she said, determination surging. Good. You're ready for this, Mia. Just take it one step at a time. But just as her excitement began to build, Mia felt that familiar twinge of doubt return. What happens if it's not enough? What if nobody wants to read it? Then write for you. Write because it's what you love and it's part of your healing journey. The rest will come in time. They continued walking, Tanner's steady presence reassuring her. As they approached the park, the sound of laughter from a nearby gathering drifted through the air. Mia could see a small group of people gathered around a fire pit, roasting marshmallows and sharing stories. A part of her longed to join them, to feel that sense of community. Let us go over, Tanner suggested, gesturing towards the fire pit. I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. Mia hesitated, a knot of anxiety tightening in her stomach. You won't know until you try, he encouraged, his smile warm. Besides, maybe hearing their stories will inspire you. Taking a deep breath, Mia nodded. They approached the group together, curiosity bubbling inside her. She could hear snippets of laughter and tales, a blend of joy and camaraderie that she missed. As she drew closer, apprehension rippled through her. What if they shared their stories and hers felt insignificant? Just then, one of the people in the group caught her eye, a woman with bright laughter who offered her a warm smile. Come join us, the woman called, patting the spot next to her. Mia hesitated, but Tanner gave her a gentle nudge. And at that moment, Mia felt the strong urge to leap. But as the laughter rose up around her, she wondered if she was ready. What if this was the moment everything changed? Would she discover more than just her voice in this gathering? Mia stood at the edge of the circle, her heart racing. The warmth from the fire flickered in her chest, competing against the chill of her lingering doubts. She could see the woman's inviting smile, and for a brief moment, it felt like a lifeline. Just go, Tanner whispered, nudging her gently forward. You'll be surprised by how freeing it can be. With a shaky breath, Mia stepped into the light of the fire. She could feel eyes on her, their kindness a balm to her anxiety. Laughter and stories filled the air like a welcoming embrace. The group quickly shifted their focus toward her. Hey there, I'm Sarah. The woman who had called her over introduced herself, her enthusiasm contagious. "What's your name?" "Mia," she replied, her voice softer than she'd expected. "Mia, welcome. Come sit." Sarah patted the spot next to her again, and Mia took a seat, feeling a mix of relief and nervous excitement swell inside her. As she settled in, Tanner hovered just behind her, like a protective shadow, reassuring her that she wasn't alone. The conversations flowed around her, like a gentle river, easy and inviting. The warmth of the fire flickered against her skin, and with each spark, Mia felt herself loosen up, if only just a little. "Anyone have a good ghost story?" A tall guy with messy hair piped up, and laughter erupted among the group. "Please, no more ghost stories. The last one scared me for a week," a girl with bright blue nail polish shot back, giggling. Mia smiled for the first time that night. As the stories volleyed back and forth, she felt her chest ease. The tales were honest, filled with shared laughter and occasional heartaches that mirrored her own. She listened intently, almost floating on the memories shared until she realized she wanted to share too. I could tell a story." Mia startled even herself with her own words. All eyes turned to her, and a warmth flooded through her. It was more than fear. It was an electric thrill, akin to standing at the edge of a diving board. Could she really jump in? "Go for it," Tanner encouraged, his voice steady. With her heart pounding, Mia recounted her childhood memory of her father teaching her to ride that bike. She described how they had stumbled in the grass, laughter bubbling up as they picked themselves up time and time again. She spoke about how he had always encouraged her to chase her dreams, even when that meant falling off the bike. Her voice grew steadier as she forged deeper into emotional waters. As she spoke, she felt the shared vulnerabilities of the group wrapped around her, sealing her fears in healing clarity. When she finished, the fire crackled in the wake of her words, and the group was quiet for a heartbeat, digesting her story. "That was beautiful," Sarah said, her eyes shimmering in the firelight. "You have a real talent for storytelling." Mia's cheeks flushed, but then a wave of lightness washed over her. The embrace of acceptance surrounded her, filling the gaps left by uncertainty. A smile blossomed on her face, the first genuine joy she had felt in far too long. As laughter and conversation filled the night air again, Mia couldn't help but feel different. She had taken the leap, and instead of falling, she had soared. But beneath the surface of her newfound excitement lingered a question that began to form in her heart. What else might she discover about herself in this community? Deep down, she knew the journey was just beginning, and with every step she took, the future stretched before her like an open road. But what would it reveal next? The weeks flowed into one another like the gentle breeze that swept through the town. Mia became a fixture at the fire pit gatherings, her laughter mingling with the warmth of friendship that surrounded her. Each story shared colored the canvas of her life. Every tale became a brushstroke in the masterpiece of community she was creating. Mia poured her heart into those evenings, sharing bits and pieces of her journey. Each story morphed into a ripple of encouragement, not just for her but for all those present. As she recounted memories of her father, sparks ignited within her. His voice echoed in her mind, urging her to embrace not just the present, but the potential waiting just outside her comfort zone. One chilly night, while the stars twinkled above like diamonds, Tanner approached her with excitement brewing in his voice. "There's an open mic night at the cafe next weekend. You should totally get up and share your story." Mia's heart raced. What? An open mic? The thought both thrilled and terrified her. "Absolutely. It's your chance to shine. You've been sharing here so effortlessly. Imagine doing it in front of even more people." His eyes sparkled with encouragement, his confidence wrapping around her like a cozy blanket. Mia's stomach flipped. She imagined the cafe crowded with people, all eyes on her. What if they didn't connect with her story? What if her words fell flat? The doubt began creeping back in, but Tanner's belief in her drew her back from the edge. "Okay," she breathed, "I'll think about it." That week was filled with both excitement and trepidation. Mia kept returning to her notebook, the pages full of hopes and memories. With each stroke of the pen, she began crafting what felt like a tapestry the woven threads of her father's encouragement, dreams, and the community that had lifted her. As the night of the open mic approached, Mia's anticipation grew. She could barely focus on anything. Memories of her father stirred within her, fueling her determination. She wasn't just writing a story. She was honoring his legacy. Finally, the night arrived. The cafe buzzed with chatter and laughter, a warm glow spilling from inside. Mia's heart beat wildly in her chest as she stepped inside. The place was packed, an audience of familiar and new faces, all eager to listen. Tanner found her, and together they edged toward the stage. "You're ready for this," he said, his voice firm. "Just remember, share your heart." When it was time for her to speak, Mia's palms were clammy but her resolve stronger than ever. She took a deep breath, the microphone cool against her fingers. "Hi everyone. I'm Mia," she began, her voice wavering but growing steadier with each passing word. "Tonight, I want to share a story close to my heart. A story about love, loss, and finding hope when the path ahead feels impossible." As she spoke, she could see faces leaning in, connected with her narrative. Each laugh and nod encouraged her to delve deeper. Remembering her father's radiant smile, she began revealing her vulnerabilities, the struggles and triumphs, the dreams dearly held and fragile yet fierce. The words flowed through her, raw and genuine, and as she painted her story, she suddenly felt an invisible thread connecting her to those listening. Each heartbeat seemed to sync, creating a rhythm of shared experience in the room. Her emotions washed over her, lifting her higher than she had ever imagined. When she finished, the cafe erupted into applause, warm, powerful, a wave of acceptance that enveloped her like a hug. Tears shimmered in her eyes, the genuine warmth of belonging wrapping around her heart. Tanner beamed proudly, his chin raised as if to say, "You did it." Mia stepped off the stage, her heart light. She had taken that leap, and maybe, just maybe, she had flown. In the days that came after, Mia found herself weaving tales not just for herself, but with a purpose. She connected with local writers, sharing her work and encouraging others to embrace their creativity. The cafe opened its doors for workshops, a space for dreamers like her, to nurture their craft. And every night, she would return to the fire pit, joining her community under the stars to celebrate the beauty of vulnerability. Each gathering filled them with courage, and as they told their stories, it created a mosaic of resilience that echoed through the town. As the seasons changed, Mia knew she would continue evolving, stepping into new chapters of her life, letting go of what once held her back. She turned her notebook pages into manuscripts, and she knew she was ready to share her story with the world. What awaited her was unknown, a fresh canvas longing to be painted with bold strokes of hope, dreams, and the extraordinary story of a young dreamer who turned heartbreak into an amazing journey of inspiration. And with a full heart, she embraced the journey ahead. Now it's your turn. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. It makes a real difference. Comment below your feelings and reactions to this ending. I'm eager to hear from you. And please, share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to spread the hope. True fans know the importance of supporting the channel. Let us do this together.